The following compilation of voicemails were left by Edward R. Levy on the telephones of Dan Maher and Billy Higgins. The first one dates to November 3, 2010, and the last one October 6, 2011. November 3rd, 2010 was a particularly active voicemail day for Ed. Apparently Paula was gone for the day, and he was trying to get a hold of me. He called me at 11:38, at 12:27, and then at 12:37.
Yeah, are you still gainfully employed? What's the deal? What's the deal, Maher? I'm searching for you. Paul's gone for the day. There's some freedom here. Maher, bring me lunch. I'm getting hungry. Come on, get with it.
This message was left November 4, 2010. Ed was apparently watching the news, and whatever random facts he found interesting he would call and tell me.
Bad news. The next generation of Harley-Davidson motorcycles will be manufactured in India. When does it end?
I never really understood how much Ed obsessed over where I was until I listened to all of these voicemails. Here he is, 20 days later, November 24, 2010, looking for me.
Is Dan Maher still alive? I wonder, there's a search on for him.
And then, again, on November 29.
The worldwide search for one Dan Maher continues. We really wonder, does he still exist?
The next two messages are from December 15 of 2010. One was at 10:20, and the next was at 12:12. Apparently, I was going over to eat lunch with him.
Well, I guess I'm not surprised that you're not available. No one ever knows where you are. Hey, you're about to miss lunch. Pizza and beer. Call me.
These next two messages are from December 20th and December 21. The last two from 2010, and Ed is wondering where I am.
The question is, when will Dan Maher ever be available? When will Dan Maher be available, if ever? Where is Dan Maher?
This message is from March 10, 2011. Hadn't heard from Ed in nearly 3 months. This message shows that he never stopped being a political scientist.
Hey, you'll never guess who just called me for advice on how to be a good mayor. Sandy Sanders. Would you believe?
No one's birthday was ever more apt than Ed Levy's, who was born on April 1st.
You better not forget it. Tomorrow's my birthday.
These next three messages are from April 4, 5, and 8. On April 8, 2011, Ed was in the hospital, and I believe this was the first news I knew of that.
Say, are you bringing me lunch again today? She was a cutie. Hey, I just got a call from your dad. He said I should check her on a daily basis. Hope you're behaving. Hey, Maher, don't you care about your surrogate father? I'm in room 534 at Sparks Hospital. I had really a series of interesting things happen. Give me a call.
Late in the summer of 2011, in August, Ed was moved into a nursing home after several procedures, and the remainder of his calls originate from there. The next two, the next two calls are from August 18.
Well, there's not a surprise. Maher doesn't answer his phone. Let's see, is he in Fayetteville? Sobering up? Who knows? I just finished a thrilling game of bingo. in a room where the average age was 106. See you later. Hey, Maher, this phone you sent me is so impressive that I've directed my attorneys, Rosenberg, and Shyster, to reinsert you into my will for a 1/24th share, which at today's market value is $5.11. Hang in there. It's more than your parents are leaving you.
This next run of messages all occurred on August 19, 2011. He called my office at 10:52 and then again at 11:52. Unsatisfied with that, he called Higgins. He left a message with Higgins at 11:56 and then again at 12:20. And then totally fed up at 1:36 in the afternoon, he called my number back and left a message.
Hey, if you hurry up over here, you can get into the last round of senior bingo. Well, once again, you're not there. I guess up in Fayetteville getting laid. God almighty, when does it end? Jesus Christ. Maher doesn't answer his phone. You don't answer yours. Are you out looking for Peter Calder's great-grandchildren? How many books do you think you can get out of that guy? Well, Maher doesn't answer. He's not there. You don't answer. You're not there. I guess you're out looking for Peter Calder's great-grandson. When does this shit end? Well, that makes the 18th consecutive times when Dan Maher has not been available. Jesus H. Christ.
The next three messages are all August 23rd. He called my office at 8:42, and then again at 11:01 a.m. Couldn't find me, so he called Higgins' office 2 minutes later at 11:03 and made inquiries about Peter Calder, as was his wont.
How absolutely foolish of me to think you would be at work before noon. When in the hell is Mayor DAN ever available? You're not available. You're either up at Fayetteville trying to get laid or pretending you're a college professor. Call me. I'm down in the residence dining room at 11 o'clock. I just finished physical therapy, the best part of which is looking at the therapist who's got a butt that won't stop. And I don't know, maybe come over and visit me sometime. See you later. Hey, this is Peter Calder's great-grandson. Changed my last name to Levy because it looks like the Jews have taken over the world. Come see me.
These next two messages are from August 24 and 25, and I guess I just need to say that to paraphrase Mark Twain, the reports of Maher's sexual activity in Fayetteville are much exaggerated.
Why am I surprised? Dan Maher is not available. We all know the only thing you're available for. Come see me. I should have known better 20 minutes to 10 on a Thursday that you would be at work. Let me guess where you are. On your way to or from Fayetteville from some more illicit sex. Shame on you.
This next set of messages are all from August 26. He was on a roll this day. He called at 9:44, at 9:50, at 10:21, and then finally again at 12:07.
Well, I should have known better to think you'd be awake at 10 o'clock or even at work. Good grief. Boy, this is a headline that scared me on CNN this morning. Illinois college becomes first in nation to ask undergrads if they're gay. What the hell's going on? Hey, I've been watching the news and I found another meaningless topic for you to write on in your search for good research. the effects of Hurricane Irene, the sociological effects of Hurricane Irene on people on the East Coast. Well, that ought to keep you busy for a while. Well, I should have known better to think you'd be at your workstation even though it's noon. God knows where you are. Oh, I know, on the way back and forth to Fayetteville. Better watch it. There's a lot of diseases being passed around now.
These next two messages are from August 29 and from August 30.
Hey, if you got off your lazy ass and got over here, you'd be in time to watch Witness for the Prosecution, a classic black and white movie. I should have known better than to think you'd be at your assignment.
On September 1, Ed called with news from Paula.
Hey, I just talked to Paula Maher, and she leaves for Egypt tomorrow with her father, and she promises to bring me back a brick from one of the pyramids. Wow. See you later.
On September 8, Ed was practicing his incredulity.
Now, there's a real surprise. Dan Maher doesn't answer his phone.
In this message from September 13, Ed announces the score.
Well, I should have known better to think you'd be at work at any time, much less lunch. Well, here's the hot news. Paul is back. So, final score, Paul 10, Ed 0.
Then again the next day, September 14, Ed calls and reiterates the score.
Well, Paul is back from Egypt, so you can imagine how much trouble I'm in.
And then again he calls and leaves the same message on Higgins' phone.
You already know the number, and here's the message. Paul is back from Egypt, so I guess I've lost what little control I had over my life, but since you're a believer, pray.
These next two are from September 16, one at 9:58 in the morning, the next at 11:32.
Hey, here's the way to pep up your boring life. Tonight on American Movie Channel, watch The Silence of the Lambs, and then see if you can get to sleep. Now, there's a real surprise. Dan Maher doesn't answer his phone.
These next three messages are from September 19, 21, and 22.
My message is this: since you're never in your office, I think we'll have them disconnect your phone. Maher, whatever else you're doing with your students today, dismiss your class, send them home, and tell them to watch The Silence of the Lambs on Channel 43, American Movie Classics. Believe me, it's a better use of their time.
Not one bit.
Well, I guess too much to think you'd be at work today.
This message from September 23 is classic exasperation coming out of Ed Levy. It's exaggerated exasperation. It's wonderful.
Well, you've broken the record. This is now the 8,000th consecutive day you have not been there to answer your phone. When will it end?
In this message from September 28, we learn that Ed used another law firm besides Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Hey, Maher, Monday is my big major surgery. I have amended my will, and you are now in it. I'll leave it to the executors to surprise you with what your bequest is.
Ed called one more time, October 6. He did not leave a message.
Are they just taking the plate that was here? Does there have to be a plate up?
I always used to kid Ed that after he died, that there would be this audio box on his tombstone that would just be a continuous loop of him talking. and and so this little compilation of his voicemails, I think, is the closest thing that we'll ever get to that. And I have to say, I still hear Ed's voice every day. Every day when people are saying things, Ed's one-liners come to my mind, and I want to throw them at people that are talking. And of course, they'd be all out of context. I mean, I just can't say, well, come on, let's just get down to the nut cutting. I can't say that. I can't say, that went over like a turd in a punch bowl. But somehow, somehow, Ed Levy could say these things. And, and somehow they didn't go over like a turd in a punch bowl. Somehow. But he always did get down to the nut cutting, and or at least he tried to, and maybe that was one of his best qualities about him. So, yeah. So I think these little snippets are a commemoration of his of his quest, his nut cutting quest.